Hello everyone again. Happy Thursday, March 19, the third day in our exponents. Here we go. We're going to be working on scientific notation. I know a lot of you have seen that before. But before we begin, just want to remind you all that your 7 topics I'm going to be checking on Friday. So please make sure you have this done. Also, you have your quiz on Friday. It'll just be on exponents and scientific notation that we worked on this week. Knowledge check, if you haven't finished that yet, please do so and then email me to let me know that you have it done, okay? So I can update your grade. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's go over scientific notation now. Most of the numbers we see is in standard notation. So for example, let's think about the world, okay? So it's estimated that we have 77 billion with a B. Okay, so billion would be this right here with 77 with 9 zeros. Now, it's a lot of work to write this. So remember, I told you that math people are lazy. We like to shorten things. So what we do is we take that 77 and we just move the number of decimals over. We go count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So we rewrite this as, with scientific notation, as 7.7 times 10. Remember, these are each zero counts as a 10, right? So how many spaces do we move over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 7.7 times 10 to the 10th power. Okay, remember that's an exponent. 10 to the 10th power, if you punch that in your calculator, that would be 9 zeros, okay? Or sorry, 10 zeros. 10 zeros because of the 10. All right, so let's try another number. 77 billion people is what we have in the world. Now, how about in the U.S.? So recent estimates show that we have 325 million. Okay, that's how many people we have in the USA, about, all right? So, again, that's a lot of zeros. So I'm going to shorten that. I'm going to count zeros back. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I'm going to write 3.25 times 10 to the 8th power. That's it. So, well, maybe you might be asking, how come I moved it all the way to between the 3 and the 2? Why don't I just leave it between the 2 and the 5? So you can do that. You could do 2.5 times 10 to the, count how many spaces we moved, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the 7th power right there. Okay, so these two are the same. Okay. So we could, we do this for big numbers. We can also use this for small numbers, all right? So think about hair. You know, have you guys ever wondered, like, how thick is a piece of hair? Like, how many inches is the thickness of a hair? And I'm not talking about the length of the hair. I'm talking about, like, how thick it is, all right? So everyone right now, pull out a piece of hair on top of your head. Take a look at it and measure that with a ruler. Just kidding. So they say, on average, a piece of hair is 0.00025 inches. Okay? So that's a lot of zeros to write there. So the decimal is right there right now. So what I'm going to write is I'm going to write 2.5. And now I'm going to count the number of zeros going backwards. And I think you guys can guess what we're going to do. For these numbers right here, we counted going to the left. Now we're going to count to the right. So let's count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to write 10 to the negative 5. All right? So the rule is when you count to the right, it's going to be a negative exponent. And if you count to the left, like we did up here for these two, it's going to be a positive exponent. All right? Let's try one more. Let's just pick any other number. How about this time? I'll give you the scientific notation, and then I want you to write it in standard notation. So let's just do 4.5 times 10 to the third power. And let's try 5.24 times 10 to the negative 5. Let's try those. So the first one, I'm going to just write 45, and now I know it's a positive, right? So the decimal is right here right now, so I'm going to move it over to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then I'm going to add a 0 right there. So I counted 1, 2, 3 because of positive 3. Now this one right here, let's try this one. So 5.24, and now it's negative, so I'm going to add points that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So decimal is going to be right here, and I have a 0, 0, 0, 0. And that's going to be your answer for that one. Okay? So that's scientific notation. Finish those two topics. There's two topics right there. And I know you've seen this before in the past. All right, so let's just review our three exponent rules. Okay, we have the product, power, and quotient rule. You don't have to know the names of these rules, but you should know how to do them. Okay, so product rule, remember, when you have the same bases, 5 and 5, or any variable, you're going to add the exponents, the n and the m. Okay, you add. Power rule is when you have an exponent outside of an exponent, you're going to multiply. Quotient rule, right? So think of this. If this is multiplication and this is division, remember multiplication is going to be adding, division must be subtracting. All right? So I'm just going to do 3 examples with you, and I think you should maybe try it on your own. Pause the video right now, try these on your own, and then we'll do it together, okay? Let's give it a shot. So the first thing here, we always want to try to simplify inside, right? Remember PEMDAS from our last video? Is there anything we could simplify inside the parentheses? Either this parentheses or that parentheses? Nope. So if we can't, we're going to apply the power now. So we're going to apply the power here, 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 here. Oh, so we're going to put a 1 right there. Here, here, and here. Okay, so let's do negative 2 squared. What's negative 2 squared? Negative 2 times negative 2 would become a positive 4. 2 times 3, that would be x to the 6th power. 2 times negative 2 would be y to the negative 4th power. 2 times 3 right here would be z to the 6th power. Okay. Now how about here? So negative 1 cubed, that's negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. That would state a negative 1. 3 times 4, x to the 12th. 3 times 2, y to the 6th. 3 times 3, z to the 9th. Okay? So we just completed the power rule. Now we're going to do the product rule. So we're going to multiply our like bases. 4 times negative 1 would be negative 4. And then now we're going to add these. So x to the 6th power times x to the 12th power, we're going to add those to be x to the 18th power. Y to negative 4 times y6 to the 6th power would be y to the 2nd power. And then z to the 6th power times z to the 9th power, we're going to add those exponents. We have z to the 15th. Okay? And here you go. Here's your answer. All right, next one. So this is the quotient rule because you're dividing, right? You always want to divide. Remember, when we divide, we're going to subtract. So first thing, can you simplify this, the 14 out of 17 over 17? You cannot, so you're just going to leave it as 14 and 17 right here. You cannot divide that. So let's look at the a's. We have a squared. There's no a in the denominator, so it just stays as a squared. We have b to the 1st power. I'm just going to write a 1 right there. And we have b to the 4th power. So remember, you ask yourself, which has more? How much more? There's more on the denominator. How much more? 3. So I'm going to put b cubed. And how about the c's? I have c squared and c squared, so those cancel out because 2 times 2 minus 2 is 0. So it's going to cancel out. Go back and check your rules. So this would be, the c's will be gone. Now I have a negative 4 right here. So this negative 4, remember, is going to move to the denominator, and when it moves to the denominator, it becomes positive. So this becomes positive, okay, right here. So that's going to be d to the 7th power. And there's your answer. All right. Lastly, this one's a big one, okay? So we have the quotient rule, we have the power rule, and then we have the product rule multiplying them. Now remember, just like PEMDAS, we do inside the parentheses first. So simplify everything inside here first. So let's not touch this yet. Now let's simplify inside. Okay. So let's see. We have 4 divided by 2, right? So that's going to simplify to 2. There's a 1 right here. And then now let's look at the x. Now x has nothing to cancel out with, so x is going to stay in the numerator, I'm sorry. And we have a negative right here, so it's going to become positive. Now we have u to the 3rd power. And then z to the 4th power, z squared, it's going to be just z squared, because we're subtracting. And this is all over negative 3. Okay. Now because this is over 1, we can get rid of that 1. So let's do that. 3 u to the negative 4 z to the 7th power times 2x u to the u cubed z squared negative 3. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything here. Okay, multiply, 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 multiply. All right, so for this term is going to stay the same. I'm not going to touch this yet. Okay. So now this is going to become 2 to the negative 3 power, x to the negative 3, u to the negative 9, and z to the negative 6 now. Alright. So same thing, nothing's going to change here. Okay. So now this right here, since everything's negative, actually before we can do that, no, let's do that. So we have 1 over 2 cubed x cubed u to the 9th power z to the 6th power. Okay. So now since we're multiplying these, I'm just going to copy this and move it to the numerator. So 3 u to the negative 4 z to the 7th power over, now 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, so that's 8 x cubed u to the 9th power z to the 6th power. I ran out of space, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a new sheet of paper and then just finish this up, okay? So now after this, I'm left with 3 in the numerator, the u, and the 8's going to stay down here. It's going to be u to the 4th power is going to, because this is negative, move down. X cubed is going to stay in the denominator. U to the 9th power. And then look, we have z to the 7th power in the numerator, z to the 6th power in the denominator. So which is more? The top has more, right? How much more? So one more, it's just going to be z. And you can write the first power or you can not write the first power. Is there anything else we can simplify? Nope, that was a tough one. Okay guys, get those topics done. Again, remember, we want to finish all of your topics by Friday, okay? Because this will really help you for Friday's test. Thanks, guys.